The Unused Subs would like to thank Tyler Street Sport, as always, for our fabulous home ground. It doubles as Auckland FC's official home too. The bench is ready for action this week, complete with Jacob Spoonley, Paul Eiffel, myself Goran Paladin, and Football Ferns defender Claudia Bungee. I think I've got the pronunciation of her surname right. All will be revealed.
We are at Portside, which is above Tyler Street Sport because it's Superbowl Monday. We record on Monday for full disclosure.
Does heat rise, G?
Yes, it does. And it's risen into this area. We've got a glass roof, the sun beating down on us.
I'm so hot.
It's like a sauna, mate.
This is in solidarity for Claudia, who's going to be experiencing the Solomon Islands later this month. So we're doing this. We're doing this for Claudia.
Now, thank you, lucky stars, Ify. You're in a cold Dunedin flat?
I am in a cold Dunedin flat. I've come back down with my eldest daughter to help her move in. I am pretty useless because I did my knee last week and can't do anything. So, yeah, I bet she's really pleased that she invited me down.
Scarfy at 46. I love it, Ify. You're going to go to crawl whatever street that is a little bit later on?
I think it's Flow Week or something tonight, so I'm going to be out on the town, obviously.
But anyway, look, we digress. It's hot in here. It's cold over there where Ify is. And you know what else is hot? The signing of Sarpreet Singh. What kind of Sarpreet Singh are we going to get to the Wellington Phoenix, Paul Eiffel? It's, 7 or 8 years after he left for Bayern Munich?
If we get even 75% of the one that was at Bayern or the one that left the Phoenix, I think that will be enough. I think he commands respect from people around the league. I think just where he's been and what he's done over the last few years, he's going to be a better player, better footballer. So I just hope we get to see that. There's the big carrot in the room, as Michael Vell would say.
Yes, go on, Ivy.
Is the World Cup. So I think there's no question on his hunger and his commitment. That's what he's here for. It's that more than the Phoenix. He won't say that clearly, but ultimately he has to be doing the business week in, week out to make it his place on the plane. Sort my teeth out.
This is about a reset. This is about game time. This is about physically preparing for the World Cup. And you get the sense that he's somebody that has bought into this move. It isn't I'll come back down here and I'll float. There's a little bit of sharpness in the eyes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what version of Sarpreet we'll get at the Phoenix for the second time.
He wants bigger and better. This is a quick stepping stone. He's going to drop in. He's hopefully going to do the business, make sure he's absolutely fighting fit. Maybe push the Phoenix into those playoff spots to prolong the season and get him where he needs to be. And then, his plan will be to do well. In the World Cup, if you play 45 minutes of good football, there will be somebody taking note. Then he's off to whatever's next. And unfortunately, it won't be the Phoenix long term. That might be in the future. But if we get the best of him now, brilliant. Let's go. I think it just works for all parties. I think it's a great move.
Let's talk about a team that's well and truly ensconced in the six, Auckland FC in second spot. They've beaten Sydney FC 1-0, the first of a double header, if you like, because they play them again next week. But Ify, 1-0, but it should have been 5 or 6.
There's a lot of chat about that, isn't there, Ify?
Yeah, look, I've been there, and if I'm missing chances, I'm okay. It's when I'm not getting chances I used to worry, because I'll be like, where are they going to come from? I think they're creating so many. They are going to absolutely wallop somebody very soon.
Yes.
If you look back a few weeks ago, we were having, quite a few weeks ago, there was similar talk about the Wellington Phoenix women. And they were creating lots and lots of chances, and it wasn't quite happening. And then, boom! I think was it 7-0?
7-0
against Sydney. 5-1 against Newcastle.
You can't speak again for the rest
that
of the
was
podcast.
That was good, guys. I like that. It was good.
Yeah, lovely. Synced.
Anyway, the rest is history. They're now looking down on pretty much everybody. So I do think that it's round the corner. So watch out. Knowing the Phoenix's luck this year, they'll come just about right in time for the derby. But look, it could be in these next couple of weeks. I really think they're going to wallop somebody. So watch out.
I think it was an expected goals of 5 in the weekend for Auckland FC, which is ridiculous, considering they only eventually won 1-0. But they had the post twice, Mai and Randall. Harrison Devonish-Mears pulled off the save of the season, and then
from point blank against Sam Cosgrove. Come on.
Exler in the first half then stole it off his toes. So Sam Cosgrove could have had a hat-trick, Jesse could have had one, and Guillermo Mai could have had one. That's the margin that they're working in. And is it a little bit irresponsible for people to be like, Sam Cosgrove, he's not doing enough. He's got, 7 goals, 3 assists now. Jesse Randall, but they don't have enough goal scorers. The width of goal scorers isn't enough. Ify, come on, man.
They, like I keep saying, when they were a few weeks ago when they were wobbling at the top, like there's nothing to worry about. We're trying to split hairs here. We're worrying about things that's just stupid. They're going to be there or thereabouts right at the end of the season. Cosgrove and Randall will be right at the top of the Golden Boot. I'm telling you right now. If Cosgrove is not doing enough with 7 goals and 3 assists, what's everybody else doing?
Honourable mention out of that Auckland FC game has to go to Michael Vout. I was really keen to see the response, how he would cope with the demotion and then obviously being thrust back into the limelight after Ollie Sale's injury. And what a performance. He put in a man of the match performance for Auckland FC, securing a clean sheet. So hats off to Michael Vout. Also, the hat comes off again for the Wellington Phoenix women. Here's the question, gentlemen. Is finals football coming to Wellington for the women? Ify?
100%.
Yes.
Let's go. 100%. No question. They've been absolutely brilliant. Bev doing a great job. I was at the game at the weekend. The scenes afterwards were absolutely class, and the fans singing "We are top of the league." It was absolutely brilliant. Loved every minute of it. What I liked about it was it was a great celebration, but you could see it was almost like, right, as soon as they walked off from that little bit, it was like, what's next? What's next? We're going again, because they want more of that. And I think it's 7 games to go. Win your home games, get the odd point away from home, and you're in. And they're going to be they're going to have the measure of everybody. It's going to be really exciting.
Bev Priestman is an energizer bunny. We're around her for 5 minutes before the men's game, mate. And it must be so enthusing as a player to have a coach like that that's setting the energy.
Infectious almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think they'll be disappointed they got knocked off the top of the table. So I don't think they'll be looking back. They'll be looking up at City and saying, you're in the crosshairs now. We're coming after you. And I don't know about you, Ify, but I always liked being second and reaching distance of first, running them down. Because when you're in first, you can only mess up. You can only stumble and be caught.
It depends how far clear you are, to be honest. If you're about 15 points clear, I'd rather be top. But if it's close, it's a condensed league like it is. No, I don't mind that. Yeah, I just think.
What about 20 points, Ify?
That's even better, mate. That's even better. You can keep going up.
What about 25?
Infinity points.
That would be
That's
ideal.
what the kids used to say to me, when they were arguing. I do think being in second spot at this stage is great. They've done it the hard way. They've been chasing all season. They've had a little taste of what it was like for a few hours. But I don't think it's going to be too long before they're back up there and they will be chased down. I'm sure, but it's going to be tight.
Enough to whet the appetite. But speaking of going up,
Millwall up against Wrexham. It's Max Crocombe up against Libby Kakachi, and your boy Maxi gets the points. 2-0, a win there at the racecourse ground.
This was the result that really made people go, "Ooh, this could happen."
Really?
I think because they've been flirting with it, but we kind of have done this over the years, and then we ended up finishing sort of 9th or 10th, and you go, oh, we were a win or 2 away from making the playoffs. Imagine if we'd have made the playoffs. And then to go and, Wrexham have been on a great run, by the way. Big pockets. Everybody wants to beat Wrexham. This is the cup final for everybody in the league. And then you go in there thinking, if we can nick a point, this will be amazing. You go there, pretty comfortable 2-0 win. And now people are going, ooh, we're 6 points in. The closest, I think, in 7th at Preston on 6 points behind. Wrexham are now 6 points behind us, so we're right in there. And I think we're only 6 or 7 points off of the top spot, Coventry. So you go on a little run, and it could be automatic. I don't want to get too excited, but I think the playoffs are definitely beckoning. I'm actually slated to go for Mill's last home game of the season on May the 2nd. I've been invited, so that's going to be pretty cool. Wow. So hopefully that is celebrating making the playoffs or even celebrating promotion, which would be unreal.
What a selfish man. Speaks only of the club. We're more interested in the fact that we've got 2 all-whites, and we're not overlooking the fact that Libby got taken off with injury, but whatever. We've got 2 all-whites in the playoff spots.
Yeah, brilliant.
To go where?
To the Premier League.
Wow. I feel that's like a
massive
title change for us, mate.
No, it's massive. Life-changing for the players. Life-changing for the club. It's class. Like whichever team do it, I think Millwall are now in the driving seat. But I think both Libby and Max could be in the playoffs come the end of the season. It'd be nice if it's. How cool would it be if those two are fighting out at Wembley, and we know that we've got one making their way to the final? That could happen.
Yeah. The really cool thing for me out of all of this is it sort of validates Max Crocombe's position within the All Whites. I feel like New Zealand fans based in Aotearoa are all in on Alex Paulson because of what he's done with the Wellington Phoenix and Auckland FC, and then obviously he's got the Premier League contract. However, Max with Millwall in the playoff spots, about to go to the Premier League.
Compelling.
It is. It's validation for him, isn't it?
Especially when you consider that he was part of the worst victory side I think they've ever had. And so his A-League experience wasn't great. And he's managed to go back, rebuilt it. And I feel like this is reward for him, Ify, that not only is he part of your Millwall, but he's doing so well for them.
Oh, look, and if you don't, you are told pretty quickly by the fans there. So it's not an easy place to be a goalkeeper. And they've just signed another decent goalkeeper, so he's going to be putting a bit of pressure between now and the end of the season. But I think for the Kiwi here, but for all the Kiwis out there and Darren Bailey, what a spot to be in when you know that Alex Paulson might be your number 2 at World Cup. Jesus, that's what amazing position to be in.
Yeah. And we go from a former Victory player to a current one.
Yes.
As we welcome in Claudia Bunge from the Melbourne Victory. Yeah, what a transition. Great to have you along on the Unused Subs. How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Look, let's start with some bad news. You've been a naughty, naughty woman, because last week you were sent off. You received a red card. Obviously, it was rescinded. That was probably the right call, actually, to rescind the red card. But just recently, at the weekend, a Newcastle jet just crashed and burned at your feet and you gave away a penalty. So here on the Unused Subs, we'd like to offer you the opportunity to basically defend yourself. What would you like to say in the wake of such horrible incidents?
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary.
And you don't
the
have
red card,
JD,
obviously,
Claudia, to defend
No,
you.
I don't have JD to back me up. Firstly, that penalty, which wasn't even a penalty, was actually given by our right back. So I'll just fact check you on that one.
Listen, I said she fell at your feet.
pen.
I didn't say that you were involved in taking her down.
Keep going, Claudia. Go back at him now.
Good.
Keep it going. I like this energy.
Okay. I'm just making sure. Yeah, the penalty, I think she just fell over the ball. And then, that red card, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I was, trying to defend my innocence, but the ref wasn't having it that day. Maybe the refs have a bit of beef with us this season. I'm not too sure. But look, it's what makes the A-League entertaining. Am I right?
You're right.
How is Michelle Heyman after that? Because, I mean, it looked horrible.
She was actually fine. We had a chat, and she had a bit of a laugh, and I think she might have grazed herself on the way down. But look, the decision got turned over within about an hour after we put an application through. So just one of those days at the office. Got an early shower, and it cost us the game, unfortunately. So that part was a bit annoying, but what can you do?
There's a joke in here about Bunge, and I'm just working on it. This Bunge. I've got something. I'll keep working on it, Claudia. Hey, just for those.
I look forward to hearing the results of that, don't you, Ify?
That is going to be woeful.
That's called a cliffhanger, by the way, guys. We're just teasing it. Hey, Claudia.
I don't want to see it.
Hey, with the red card, just for those at home, what's the process around getting that red card overturned? Because people just see the outcome. But there is actually quite a bit of work that goes on in the background around picking the moment.
You have to hire a lawyer like Jacob Spoonley to defend you.
Well, you want a good one, so you go after John Didlitzer.
Get somebody else.
Yeah.
You get JD involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he did it so quickly. I think they got as much footage as possible, like every angle from obviously where the foul was committed. And then bring up the rule book. It was quite an extensive report, is what I'm told. JD's, I mean, he comes from a lawyer background, so he had all his bases covered. And after we submitted it to the A-Leagues, in about an hour, we heard back and it was reversed to a yellow, which I actually don't even think it was a yellow. It was shoulder to shoulder, in my opinion. It was a pretty quick turnaround, so I was grateful to get to play the weekend just been.
Was that your first red card in the A-League, or have you had one before?
No, that was my first straight red card as well.
Right.
I was just so confused more than anything.
What about you guys? Have you ever been sent off? Ify, were you ever sent off as a professional player?
I've never been sent off.
Clean skin?
No. I was just too nice, mate. I was too soft. I jumped out of tackles if I could manage it, so... I probably should have got a couple, if I'm honest. When I finished at the Phoenix and played National League, I think probably my reputation let me away with a couple of strong yellows, but I think the Reds. I was slowing down a bit. Thought went into a few tackles a bit too slowly. I think so, but apart from that, no, I've been pretty clear. Just a question for you, Claudia. No VAR?
No VAR.
There's no VAR in the women's.
No, which is such a
terrible.
shame. Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Especially when it affects the game straight away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're talking losing 3 points. That could be so pivotal come the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would be great if we had VAR for finals, but maybe in future seasons. But yeah, I think that would be really useful in our league for sure.
Claudia, I actually got sent off in my last National League game. Nick Waldron, and he often chuckles about this when I catch up with him, but I saved the penalty and he said I came off my line, so he got me to retake it. So they scored the follow-up. And then in the second half, Jesse Edge, and I've called him through, and there was that little terrier of a forward for Team Wellington. Jesse just stepped aside. He didn't box him off. He stepped aside, and I've gone to reach it, and the guy's got a toe in front of me, and I've just cleaned him out. And Nick's just staring at me. I'm staring at Nick, and he's like, well, I've got to send you off now. I was like, I know. And I was just fucking furious with Jesse Edge.
For me, that sounds like a lack of communication from the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper error all day, every day.
As a centre-back, your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I feel like the second one was deserving. You take the player that's...
You walk very, very carefully here, Claudia.
So, Claudia, as a member of the Melbourne Victory, you are no stranger to success. You just got to go back less than 12 months to see that your team made it to the A-League Women's Grand Final. But on that day, it was a bit of a roller coaster ride for you especially. There was an error that led to the Central Coast Mariners goal. You yourself had a goal ruled out, then you scored, then you obviously go on to lose in a penalty shootout. Are you kind of using and utilising that grand final appearance as motivation for going one better this season?
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, that game was just an absolute whirlwind, and after the game we were all just like what just happened? Because leading up to the game we had a really good season last year, most clean sheets, and if it wasn't for City's unbeaten run, I think we would have come away with the premiers. But finals footy is just so different, and I think right now the league is so close, it kind of feels like it's finals football right now. And I think with the folding of Western, there's a lot of really good teams, everyone's quite even, all the good players are kind of dispersed throughout all the teams, which is great for the league, because I think from top to bottom there's 5-6 points separating everyone. It's already kind of starting to feel like finals football, and every game seriously counts, and every team's a bit of a threat. So we're using last season as motivation for sure, but we're kind of just focusing on the game at hand each week.
Do you think the league has got better as a whole because of the disbursement, or was it just levelled off the playing field?
I think it's better because it is so even. And like I said, it was unfortunate that Western folded, but I think it did maybe saturate the talent pool a little bit. So I think now that we've got a lot of good players spread across all of the teams, I think the league's better this year, and probably as a neutral, it's probably been better to watch as well, because usually it'd be like the cities, us, Sydney, and you get maybe two others that are near the top. But this season it's just so different. So it's making it way more interesting.
Is Jeff Hopkins the most liked man in football in Australia, Claudia?
I love him. I think the fourth officials probably don't love him, because he is pretty vocal. Jeff Hopkins has two sides. He is such a lovely man off the field, but when he crosses that white line, he's just such a competitor. And I think he still has that from his playing days. And he was a centre back, so that's something that I love about him as a coach. And I think he's a great coach. He's probably the most successful there's ever been in this league. So when you're on his good side, it's good, and when you're not on his good side, it's not so good. But I think a great coach needs to have a bit of both.
Claudia, you've spoken about the talent pool saturation this season, and it's resulting in a really competitive, very watchable competition. Why do you think then that the Australian public in particular hasn't followed the A-League as closely as they did? I'm sort of talking more about the flow-on effect from the FIFA Women's World Cup of 2023. The crowds have sort of almost dwindled. They haven't been able to hold their attention. You as a player, do you have any answers as to why that is the case?
How much time have you got today?
Well, how much time have you got?
Yeah, off you go.
Oh, I've got all day. I've got enough day today.
We can mute me and I think, and you just go for broke.
Yeah, I think that's a hard one, and I think it's lots of things. I think the APL just didn't really leverage much off the World Cup because the fans are here in Australia and New Zealand. Like, you see how many people go to the Matildas games. The fans are there. They've sold out every single one of their games since the World Cup. So, yeah, it's just about being smart and how to get those fans to the A-League games. And yeah, it is a shame when we don't get many people at the games. And yeah, there's a whole lot of reasons for that, but I think it does start from the top down.
And how frustrating is that, Claudia, when you are in a football city like Melbourne? Because Melbourne is an undeniably cosmopolitan, football-focused market. Surely that compounds the frustration when you look in, when you were out in the weekend playing in the home of the Matildas and you aren't attracting the numbers that you see at the Matildas games or that you see around the competition, the local competition.
Yeah, it's a massive sporting city. It's one of the reasons why I love living here. But yeah, like I said, I think the APL just haven't leveraged well enough off the World Cup. I think clubs need to be a bit more brave, and people need to start investing more. I think the investment needs to come first, because what we've got is an elite product, and the Australian PFA have launched the Ready for Takeoff campaign. So we're hoping to gain a bit of traction off that. And I honestly think the women's league should be separate to the men's league. I think the governance in the men's league, people just don't care enough about the women's game. That's what I think personally, just with what I've seen in my time at Victory and in the Ferns and just in the professional game altogether. I think the investment needs to come first, and people just need to be brave enough, because you look at what's happening overseas in England, America, what those clubs and federations are doing and the revenue that they're getting back. It's going to take a couple years to build up, but it is, there's a lot of gains from it. So I think people just need to be willing to do it.
And the next step, obviously, is with investment comes the opportunity. But is the playing group, or are you as a player, willing to take a couple of risks and do something a bit different around the promotion of the competition? Because in the women's game in particular, we often hear about the buy-in to the personalities and the characters, but you've got to take the chance and show people what that is.
I think girls are so keen to do that, and I think that's something that is a little bit different from the men's game. I think, in the women's game, because you can get really up close to us, you can, we get the same fans at our games every single week, so you can build a bit of a repertoire with them. I think on top of, girls are doing extra study and girls are working, we're already quite widespread, if that makes sense. So I think, if we, we're fully paid full-time professionals, if we were able to solely just focus on football, I don't think that would even be a question. I think girls would be jumping at those opportunities.
Yeah, I just think that's got to be it's got to be club driven as well. I think the clubs have got to try and find a way to help the players. That they're not fully professional yet. So what can the clubs do to kind of bridge the gap that gets the players closer to what they're looking for, and it gets them out in the community? I think you're right. I look at I've got two young daughters who my youngest is 14. She's bugging me every week to get that. It's been difficult. I live 2 hours away, but I think the club is pretty progressive in the women's space at the moment, and I think we're seeing that with what they've managed to do with the players and pitch, and I think it's working, and they've invested in the women's space for the first time in a number of years, and there's no surprise that they're actually doing well. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So I think it can be a league thing, for sure, but I think the clubs can do their own a little bit as well while we try and get to that stage, because if we leave it just down to the APL, we're not going to get there.
Claudia, you've got a lot of A-League experience, but you did disappear to Denmark for a season. So comparatively, what are they doing right or wrong over there? What are the things that they're sort of hitting the mark on in Denmark that maybe the A-League can pick up on?
It's a good question. I think, like in terms of the level, like the leagues are very similar. I actually think the A-League markets the women's side a lot better than the Danish league does. I still think that league's got a way to go. But in terms of the league itself, like the A-League is special because the league is so close. I think it's really entertaining. It's literally the perfect product for investors and, you know, people with deep pockets to invest into the league, because I think, the gains from it could be immense. But yeah, I enjoyed my time in Denmark. Different style of play, but I think the thing that brought me back was Jeff. I think he's just an outstanding coach, and he's a coach that challenges me a lot, and he's always after the perfect performance, and I don't think I've ever given him the perfect performance yet, so hopefully I can work towards that. And then also just being at Victory, it's a great club, and yeah, I feel really supported here.
All right. Made a lot of friends with that, Claudia. Obviously being very, very kind and considered with your words. All right, now we're going to make some enemies. Copenhagen or Melbourne when it comes to coffee?
They're both very good, except Copenhagen, the coffee's like $12, so I'm probably going to have to pick a Melbourne coffee because it's cheaper.
All right, food then. Copenhagen or Melbourne in terms of like cafe food, ability to go out and get something beautiful?
Melbourne, different, more variety.
If you were sitting in Copenhagen right now, all the answers would be
yeah. Is this an example of how astute Claudia Bungee is at marketing? Particularly.
You've got to know your audience.
Maybe Copenhagen in the summer. I would pick Copenhagen.
Okay, put the boot in
Copenhagen
now.
in the winter, not so much.
Weather-wise, you got to pick one. Put the boot in, because Melbourne or Copenhagen when it comes to weather.
I'll say Melbourne.
Oh my God.
It's a
Very
trifecta.
loyal. It's
the trifecta. The goal for a lot of players is to go offshore and play in those massive leagues. But if the A-League does become the beast that we hope that it can be, and then you've also got not only the Wellington Phoenix women who are doing well, but an Auckland FC side, and you're a Rangitoto College girl, is there a thought somewhere in the back of your mind, maybe even in the front of your mind, that is a possibility coming to Auckland to play in the A-League in your hometown?
For sure, that's definitely something that I've thought about, something that I would love to do one day. When that happens, I'm not sure, but yeah, Auckland's my home. I think my parents would be pretty happy to have me back. Maybe not moving back in with them. Maybe
get
maybe
that messaging very clear, Claudia.
Yeah. But no, that's definitely something that I would love to end up doing at some point in my career, for sure.
Speaking of branding, Claudia has often branded herself as a Westie, or at least her mum has attempted to. I'm just going to come out and say that West Harbour is not West Auckland. Yeah, that does not count. And then you went to Rangitoto College, Claudia, so it doesn't count. It absolutely does not count.
We're going to have a chat after this. You've just outed me to everyone. It's on the west side of the Greenhithe Bridge. It is West Auckland.
The fact that you are using the Greenhithe Bridge as a reference point alone, you know, that's crumbling your argument right there. The foundation is soft. We can take this up afterwards as well.
Yeah, we're going to have to. We're going to have a word.
We're going to have a word. Well, we are sweltering at the moment. It is
it's good,
so hot. I
nice.
I think we've done this out of solidarity. We're acclimatizing ourselves just to prepare for the Football Ferns going into the Solomon Islands, Claudia. Love that hydration from Claudia.
So good. Everyone have a drink.
Yeah, starting now.
So
it's good.
For the Football Ferns, I think a lot of the criticism or the attacking of the kind of relevance of World Cup qualifying is that the Ferns are the dominant force in Oceania. And I suppose that is fair with Oceania's development and how they're coming on, particularly in the women's game. But it is not always the most easy to travel to. A lot of these places, the Solomon Islands as an example, it's going to be difficult up there. But it's a good time for you guys to kind of get together and grow this new group.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenging trip, like you said. I've never been to the Solomon Islands, bit of a niggly place to get to, but yeah, we're all really excited. Got quite a young squad, and yeah, the Oceania teams are getting better and better each year. With more money and more investment coming in, obviously at the World Cup there's more spots available now. So yeah, it's going to be competitive, and it's not going to be an easy trip for sure.
Well, you talk about the young squad, Claudia, and over the last few years there has been a lot of experience fall by the wayside, or however you want to put it. The likes of Ali Riley, Ria Percival, Annalie Longo, Hannah Wilkinson. And when I look at that squad that's been selected to go to Honiara, it's a huge number, right? So the squad that's going to Honiara, you've got Stotty, who has, she's a Centurion.
Yes.
Michaela Moore is in the 70s in terms of caps.
Yep.
And you're actually the third most capped football fern in that squad. So when you talk about creating a new identity for the Football Ferns, I'm going to go ahead and say that you must be at the forefront of it. And how exciting is it to be one of the more senior players in this squad as we go towards a World Cup next year?
Really exciting. A little bit daunting. It makes me realise I'm getting on.
Welcome to the rest of us, Claudia.
Yeah. But no, it's really exciting, and I think we don't forget what those players did and have done for our group, and they're still in and around the team. I know Flea has a lot of involvement with New Zealand football. Ali Riley is doing Ali Riley things and conquering the world. So I think, the identity is very similar. Different personnel, obviously, but we are continuing what the older girls have done, and moulding it to make it our own as well. I think that's something that this group is wanting to do leading into qualifiers, and hopefully when we qualify to World Cup.
So obviously, we want to be open and transparent on the Unused Subs, G, right?
Of course.
So, Paul, would you like to declare a conflict of interest for Claudia and the audience, and then take this conversation forward?
Yeah, that's my lack of questioning, because I felt a little bit guilty sat here. I've been waiting to get in, but Spoons hadn't stopped talking, so my apologies there. But I have recently been appointed, it's not even out there yet, I've recently been appointed as the head coach of the Samoa women national team. Thank you. So I'm going to be in control when you turn up in the Solomon Islands. So, they're laughing at the fact that you've got to go, but I've got to go too. So
we'll both be there sweating.
Yeah. Well, at least you get to play. Unfortunately, I'll just be watching. But yeah, look, I suppose what I want to go back to your last camp really, and a new coaching team as well. Like, what's changed in the sort of new run of things? I know they're obviously looking at a new culture, new way to do things. But what have you noticed? What's been the biggest change between the two?
Yeah, there's been a lot of change. I think personnel, for one. We've obviously had lots of girls retire, which is, mix of emotions. We've had leaders such as Flea retire most recently, Ali Riley, there's a long list of names. So I think Mainie's encouraging the next cycle of players to really be brave, and really, this is a opportunity where I think the selection for this squad and then squads in the next few tours right up until the World Cup is going to be the most competitive it's always been. So something he's really instilling in us is just take the opportunity with both hands, really commit to the program and commit to what he's trying to do, which I won't get into at great length, obviously, because the opposition is on the call with me.
She's become very careful with her words all of a sudden.
I don't know, yeah. You can be confrontational, Claudia, as well. You feel free to fly the flag.
I think from last World Cup as well, obviously it didn't go our way, and there were areas where we needed to improve. I think like our physicality and just where the women's game is headed, like players are just way faster and way stronger. So if we're not going to outplay teams, we need to compete physically with them, and that's something you can control. So that's like the benchmark for us. And then just getting as many of our players in the best leagues as possible for club, and that's only going to make the Ferns stronger too.
Ifa, did you get anything out of that you can use in your build-up, your preparation, anything
No,
like
I'll
that?
tell you our formation, so
Yeah. We'll be playing a 4-6-0, so don't.
Hey, Claudia, you mentioned the last World Cup, and it seems quite ridiculous to think that it was
Did
2.5
say he's
years
not
ago.
going to play with the goalkeeper?
What's that?
4-6-0.
Spoons, you never say the one. When have you ever said 1-4-4-2?
You never talk about the
1-4-4?
goalkeeper, eh? Never talk about
There's no point, is there?
yeah.
Jesus.
You mentioned the World Cup, and it's crazy to think that it's 2.5 years ago that Australia and New Zealand put on that incredible event. And for you personally, getting game time in that event must have been insane. You got 20 minutes against Norway, and that would have been just brilliant, riding home that win and earning the first 3 competition points of the competition. And then conversely, I think you got a half hour against Switzerland in the final pool game, and you just had to get something more than that draw out of it to get to the knockout phase. So conflicting, contrasting emotions throughout that World Cup for you, Claudia.
it was crazy, like just the craziest experience. Like when people say the highs and the lows of football, it was all condensed within those 2 weeks. The first game against Norway was just incredible, and girls were crying after the game because it was obviously something we've never done before. And then going and losing against the Philippines was an absolute dagger in the heart. And then the whole thing was just a massive roller coaster, but it was such a great experience. I think a few of us had were a little bit blue after that because we were so close. So it's crazy to think that was only 2.5 years ago, and the next one's just around the corner. So they're just amazing pinnacle events, and we definitely want to do one better in Brazil for sure.
Coming on as a defender, yes, you've got a little bit more proactive play than a goalkeeper, but if I'm getting subbed on with a 1-0 lead in my hometown in a game that we are supposed to lose, like
In
I think
front of 40,000 people as well.
all the data is saying that the striker from Barcelona is going to score, the midfielder from Chelsea is going to dominate the game, and you've got a 1-0 lead that you've been sent in to protect. What's the mentality like?
Don't fuck up.
Yeah, chop them down, Claudia. Just
Yes, Claudia.
axe attack.
Yes.
Bang.
But that's what it's like, though. That comes with a huge amount of pressure, right? Not just to go out and perform, but perform it in a context when all you can really do is let the game slip. So what's your mental state like in that situation?
I was pretty nervous when Yitka told me to warm up, but I was really sure of my role, and I knew what I needed to do. And the reason why I think I'm on the Ferns is because of my defensive abilities. I came on and I didn't have to do too much. I won a couple headers, and I was honestly just clearing the ball because you could feel it in that game. We just needed to close the game out, just wind the clock down. I was pretty stressed heading on, but then once I was in the game and got my first actions out the way, I actually felt pretty relaxed in there, and I had CJ next to me screaming at me, telling me what to do. So I was listening to her. Ria's in front of me, so I had players around me that were good in those big moments. And when the whistle blew, I think we were all just like so stoked. But it was a career highlight, that game, for sure.
You beat somebody like Norway who you're not expected to beat at all. If you'd have got a battling draw, I think every man in his dog would have been over the moon because everybody expected you to go on and beat the Philippines. So you get a draw in the first one, you beat the Philippines, and you do what you need to do in the final game. So was it a lack of focus? Was it you celebrated too much in the first one? Was it complacency, or was it not that, and it was just one of those days that you have in football?
That's a good question. I think we changed our formation, which I don't think we should have done. I think we should have stuck to the 4-4-2 that we played against Norway, and that was the system that we felt, the most confident in. But football is dynamic. You need to be able to play multiple systems these days. We had Wilkie was offside. I think her shoulder was offside in that Philippines game, and we got a goal ruled out. So I think it was just one of those nights for us. We definitely didn't go into that game complacent. Obviously we were stoked with the win, but as soon as the next day rolled around, we were focused on that game. So I think it's a combination of probably our formation and then just a bit of bad luck, unfortunately.
Earlier in 2023, we got a wee taster of how big the World Cup was going to be because the Americans came to town to play 2 matches against the Ferns. And the crowds were huge then. Fast forward to opening night against Norway and you're playing in front of 42,000. Like, you just... That's dream state stuff, isn't it? You've never seen a crowd like that for women's football in New Zealand, and then you're thrust into that environment. Must have been absolutely mental.
Yeah, it was pretty buzzy because, we were late to that game, so we didn't actually really get a chance to take it all in. I think the bus got there, we had to get changed and go straight up for warm-up. So... yeah, I probably didn't realize how many people were there until the game started because I was sitting on the bench and I could actually look around. And yeah, I think every single person that I know that lives in Auckland or is in New Zealand was at that game, which was so cool. And yeah, it was unreal, but I didn't really take it all in probably until the game started, and I was like, oh wow, there's actually heaps of people here. And I had never seen Eden Park filled, only for an All Blacks game maybe. So yeah, it was unreal.
And obviously, it was also a really important milestone. So just to give people a bit of a recap, the FIFA budgets had improved. They were demanding larger stadiums. They went out and they assertively engaged with broadcasters in order to fund it properly. There was a lot more both team and individual investment into the players, and you benefited off the back of that. So you became a Visa ambassador for the tournament, Claudia. And then obviously unlucky that the Ferns...
Did you get a card with unlimited expenditure?
No, I wish.
Spending up large?
No, I wish. I've had people ask me that actually, but no, I didn't, unfortunately.
Oh, that sucks. Just for the duration of the tournament,
I know, yeah.
I would blow that budget in 5 minutes. There's no problems with that as well, too. It wouldn't be for the duration of the tournament.
It's a bit dangerous.
But Claudia, unfortunately, as the Ferns got knocked out in the group stage, did that mean that you got to experience the World Cup and how much of an event and also a corporate event and a commercial event it became?
Yeah, after we got knocked out, I did go to some games once I was, kind of in an okay state to go, because we were just so gutted that we got knocked out. And obviously getting, endorsed by Visa is just unbelievable. Ryan Nelson actually gave me a call when they were thinking about looking into me to endorse, and I actually said to him, are you sure?
So hold on, pause there for a second, Claudia. Nellie's given you the heads up that Visa's going to, they've got you on the radar from a ambassador perspective.
Yeah, I thought he was joking. Yeah, it was crazy, but they were great. They looked after me so well, and got to go to the semi-final and the final, which was just insane. And yeah, they're obviously a great company. Yeah, honestly, zero complaints. It was awesome. It's such a great experience, and so grateful that they decided to endorse me and sponsor me, because yeah, I was on the phone to him. I said, are you sure? There must have been a mistake here. Do you have the right number?
Okay. What were the events that you got to go to? Because there were events down on Darling Harbour, there were stuff in Melbourne. So what did you get to go to? And also, who was there? And you were like, oh God, this is pretty cool. They're in the room with me.
The final was so cool. That was a whole weekend. Yeah, actually, Malia came with me to that game. I think she was in Sydney. She didn't get flown because they flew me over for it, which was...
Was she your plus one?
First class?
She was my plus one. Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Ooh, very nice, Claudia.
Yeah, so yeah, it was okay.
Humble.
But yeah, so Malia came with me and we just had the best time. It was just such a good night. And yeah, we were up in the box, and I can't remember who was there. There were definitely quite a few famous people there. But yeah, the whole thing was awesome.
Claudia, if you've still got the association, can I give you my details to wipe my debt with Visa? Because I would really appreciate that. I'm in the hole right now, and I need your help.
I can help you with that. I think that's a you problem.
Yeah, it's definitely a me problem. Yeah, it's 100% a me problem. Look, I had to reach out, knowing the connection.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, got to try it. Hey, in wrapping things up, I'm really looking forward to this Bunge thing that you were...
Sponged as I came up with. The red card was a sponged for Claudia Bunge. That's where I came up with it.
Okay, a little bit of rhyming.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll give that a 6 out of 10, I feel. I think that's...
What? 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
You've had the whole... You've had... What we had? I don't know, 50 minutes to come up with something?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
As good as it's got.
Yeah.
What is the origin of Bunge? Is it German?
Yes, it's German. Yeah.
So are we saying it incorrectly then when we say Claudia Bunge?
Yeah, but that's how we say it. Like my family say it like that. So, but if you pronounce it correctly, it's Bunge. But Bunge is fine. You can.
Sorry?
You do not have to change
Claudia
the way you say
Bunge.
it.
Bunge?
Yeah, that's how you say it. Yeah.
What?
That's not a joke.
Like Bunge.
Hey, Spoons, there's a better joke there. There's a better joke there. Surely.
I don't know if we can touch it, I think.
No, you'll get cancelled.
Yeah, we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there.
Podcast over.
But that is how you say it. That is how you say it. Yeah.
That is how you say it. That is amazing.
But we're not going to touch that.
No, absolutely
we're
not.
just going to say Claudia Bunge.
Just leave it. Just leave it over there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Thank you for your time, Claudia Bunge, on the Unused Subs.
Thanks, Claude.
Oh, dude, that's
That's
funny.
a really unfortunate pronunciation, Claude.
Hey, I think we should stop the recording right now.
Yeah, I was like, maybe this part shouldn't go in.
Let's just save everybody's
We'll
lives.
protect ourselves.
Yeah. I'm going to hit stop here.